Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Kageyama, and I'd like to welcome everyone here to Be Your Own Hero. I'm a stage 4 prostate bone and lung cancer patient slash survivor. Been dealing with cancer since late 2020, early 2021. Doing very well here in Texas. I mean, we're experiencing some absolutely beautiful, beautiful weather, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, you have beautiful weather at all. But whether or not you have nice weather, bad weather, doesn't matter. It shouldn't change who you are because this life that we have is a gift and we only go around once. So let's make the very most of it. And here's your commercial. Please like, subscribe, make a comment in the comment section. And we are going to have an absolutely spectacular conversation with my guest who is returning, Helinka Carr from the UK across the pond. And we are set for an incredible conversation. Helinka, please reintroduce yourself. Tell us who you are. And we're going to get into some really, really great stuff.
Hi, I'm Helinka Carr and I am the founder of Unspoken Rosebud. I had bowel cancer in 2013 and I beat it, even though it migrated up into the lungs and such, but I still beat it and got rid of it. So this is me, and I'm here to empower people to have the best life they can after all the wonderful treatments we've all gone through.
I've never heard anybody say it like that, and I know that's tongue in cheek, but
That's me.
yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. It's every time I go through some kind of test or a scan or whatever it may be, my thought is, how in the world did one human being think of how to do this to another human being? It's pretty amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that we have to go through as cancer patients is just absolutely mind-blowing. How invasive it is and how tough it is. So, if you are an active cancer patient going through treatments, hang in there and realize that down the road, hopefully soon, that things will get better. And you have to hold on to that belief that you will get better. And, you know, and that's so, so important. So, along those same lines, Palinka, let's talk about the psychological aspect of cancer
Mm.
and how, what we go into cancer mentally and who we are, how that shifts along the way, and how we need to adjust along the way to accommodate the changes in who we are as people, who we are as physically, and who we are mentally. So why don't you kick it off and let's get into a great conversation.
But like you're saying, isn't it? I mean, I don't know why people believe that once you've had your cancer treatments, then that's it, you're fine and dandy, and there's no emotional or psychological effect of what you've gone through. I find that so baffling. I mean, like we've said before, if not so much now, because obviously the survival rates are absolutely amazing and they're progressively to get better and better. But when you used to get the big C sort of named before, that was it. You was on a death sentence. But now we're not. And we shouldn't be living that we're thinking we're on a death sentence. We're on a life sentence. Yes, our bodies have changed beyond any recognition. They get battered and bruised with treatments and operations and such ever else. But we are here to live. We are here to have the best life we possibly can in relationships, in what we're doing, what we achieve, and also our thoughts. Our thoughts are so bloody powerful. You've got to really monitor And I know it sounds a wrong word, but you need to monitor what your thoughts are. We all have negative words. We all have negative thoughts, but that's normal because that's what the brain instinctively does. And you've got to be stronger and more powerful and to put in the positive thoughts. Yes, I look at my body as a battlefield. It's been bombed and bashed and whichever else, and it's got scars it never had before, and it's got lumps and bumps it never had before and such. But it's still here. And how many battlefields out in the world on a geographical level are still here, and they recover and they have the best. You know, they do the best with what we've got. And that's what's most powerful, an important thing. The surgeons and the medical team have done what they've done. Their objective is get that cancer out of our bodies, prevent it spreading anywhere else, keep giving us scans, which are they're frightening when you know they're coming up. And waiting, that period of waiting for those results are so mind draining emotionally as well. And you're just thinking, and then you're trying to be really, really positive for everybody who's around you because you can see the panic on their faces and you can see the dread of what if. And that's exhausting as well for us. But we've got to hide it and mask it just to limp the family through. But then you get the results and they're going, okay, it's moved. But then you think, okay, it's moved, but we've beaten it before. We'll beat it again. We will use the tools that the hospital have. Or for me, when it shifted from into my lungs, and it were like, right, okay then. And I used to just say to my nurse, where is it? They told me exactly where it was. And I would concentrate all my energy, all my Reiki and all my crystal healing on that spot and blitz it out and get rid of it again. And like I said about your immune system, how powerful that is. Because at the end of the day, why our immune system doesn't recognize cancer is because it's made of us. So it doesn't see it as a foreign body. But once your immune system's woken up to it, and it's like, that's a foreign body, we need to deal with that. It does. And there's a lot of treatments now that include your immune system too. They've realised that's one of your better ways forward. But we have to look after our mental health. Nobody else is going to do it. Yeah, you're going to get therapists like myself. I am a therapist and I will help people and a mentor to help them through their struggles. But most importantly is remembering we are still alive. All right, we're going to have some days when getting out of bed is a blooming struggle. But what can you do in bed? You can still have the kids in bed with you, having a cuddle and have a snuggle and watching some rubbish on the telly. That's still a memory. All right, you're maybe not going kayaking down the river or kayaking down some lovely, because you've got some gorgeous rivers and whitewater rafting and such. So it might not be doing that, but we're still creating memories. And I think that's important. We create positive memories because that's what builds us up. Because on a day when we're feeling a little bit thin, we'll go, okay, then I can't do that, but I can do this. And find something else that we are really good at and what we can do. And don't be hard on yourself. Your body has been battered from here and back again. And we all put the brave face on. We all put that bloody mask on, don't we? When everybody goes, oh, how are you feeling? And it's all, oh, I'm fine. And realistically, we're aching and hurting and such. But the more you tell your subconscious mind, I'm fine, I'm doing it, I'm getting on, the more it believes and the more then we progress and move forward as well. So it is. I know people don't like the word mindset. People don't like the word of empowerment, but you are the ones that control how your thoughts and your feelings in your life. And it's not just your life, it's the people around you as well. You impact on them. We all, let's be fair and honest, as people that are close to us really do know when we're having a bad day. They might not know how bad the day is, but they know we're having a bad day. And they know just to be there. They don't need to know why or how, but just to be there, just to support, just to give you, all right, here's your cup of tea, love. Here's your sandwich. Just little things just to boost you up, to show the care. And that busy. And I tell you what I found really hard, I don't know if other people have, is once I started healing and recovering and it's gone, how everybody went back to the normal life. And then it was just like, yeah, but you've beaten it. It doesn't matter. Life is wonderful. Life is brilliant. And you're thinking, have you looked at this? Have you felt what this is doing? It's not wonderful and it's not what, but I am still here and I am here to create memories and I am here to help people take control of their life. We've got a new body. It's not how it was designed and how it was birthed, but it's still there. So let's enjoy it.
You know what's fascinating to me, and you brought up something. When a person first gets diagnosed, how people really band together and offer support and are there, like for instance, in my case, people were like on top of me, like there's no tomorrow, you know, friends and family, and I appreciated that. But as time went along, it just started getting less and less because they say, oh, he's still around. And so that goes to your point, you know, and I find that so fascinating because of the fact that uh, I when I first started my cancer journey, I was bombarded 24/7. I mean, I literally would wake up in the morning and get phone calls from people and I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate the way people cared, but as time went along, it just got to be less and less because they people assume, oh, he's okay, he's back to normal. And to your point, you know, it's a different normal. It's a different outcome now, and we need to, as patients and, and survivors, we need to be able to constantly adjust our mental outlook and our mindset and in our psychological aspect of ourselves moving forward because things are not as they used to be. So talk about that, from your experience and what you've seen.
Well, for me, obviously being the bowel, they put a stoma, an ileostomy on me so that my bowel would heal, and I was all against that. There was like not a chance you putting that thing on me. But that was because I had an auntie who had one and she had nothing but problems with it. And as it turned out, the benefit for her was to always have a problem because people would come running around and looking after her. So I didn't realise that at the time. I didn't, the penny didn't drop thing. I just heard and remembered all the problems that she had. But the consultant spent a lot of time with me and I agreed to have the first one. Had that one for just over 11 weeks and then I had it reversed. But unfortunately, due to the radiotherapy that I'd had, because obviously I didn't have the chemotherapy, totally and absolutely refused that, it ended up where my pelvic area is damaged. So after 3 years of living hell, is how I describe it, where I was glued to the toilet, I then just said, you're just going to have to put another stoma back on me, an ostomy back on me. I cannot live like I'm not living. I was doing little bits of things, but as people know who exercise a lot, who do a lot of running and whatever and walking, you do that, it aggravates your bowel and then it works. Well, if you've got a bowel that doesn't need a lot of aggravating to make it work anyway, it really did sort of chomp the quality of my life. However, I still went out and did what I could. I still sort of made the best of a bad job kind of thing. And then once I got the second stoma, that was it. I can live my life. I can go out. I don't have that worry of can I get to the loo or the after effect. Because like I say, I can't feel my stomach. I can prod and poke it and whatever else, and I cannot feel it. And that is just the damage that radiotherapy's done. I've accepted that because of the stoma. I am able to be more empathic with people who have them and be able to support them better. And like with the ostomies as well, I can support them better by saying, right, okay, then yeah, we've got this bag stuck to his tummy, but we've still got a life to live. We've still got a life to enjoy. Yeah, okay, then we're going to go through these scary periods when your scans are coming up. And then you're waiting for that period of, yes, it's, these are the results. We know what we're dealing with. But you still got to live life to the fullest. What I have found, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, is planning a little bit. Do a little bit of planning of what you can do during the day. Find out when you're best, like you and I have said, our energy levels are better morning to midish afternoon. After that, it's like, it's waning quite a bit. And it's not just down to his age, it's down to we've been battered. So I'm not taking the agey thing. Sorry, I know other people might, but I ain't. So then you just plan around when your body's more awake and more able. Don't think, well, I used to do that. Yeah, that's what you used to do. But look at who you are now. Look at all the experiences you've got. Look at how you can inspire people by getting yourself up, getting yourself dressed, and going out and doing something. And the people that know you will be inspired. I've got people who will say to me, I don't know how the hell you went through that. Even though you're thinking, didn't actually have a choice. Sorry, I'm swearing again. I didn't really have a great deal of a choice because I want to live and I want people around me to live. And also the communities, like I said, the people that have endured and suffered the cancer, I want them to live and have the best quality. Doctors, at the end of the day, their objective is to get that cancer out of us. That's their objective. And I had this conversation with my consultant and he said, I need to get that out of you and then deal with whatever impact we've had on your body afterwards. That to us is a secondary. That's the only secondary we want. We don't want secondary cancers further on down the line because we didn't get it out quick enough. And I thought, yeah, but you need to look at the mental and emotional impact that has. Because unfortunately, I've noticed with my husband, don't forget, doctors believe that a family around us, they don't suffer with the impact of cancer diagnosis and such. But unfortunately, his niece has been diagnosed with cancer and it all come flooding back to him. He's had the backlash from that my diagnosis to her diagnosis, and he went all quiet and such. So I had to subtly work with him to get him to realise that this is what it is like. That's what it's like for all of us. But it's not what we should concentrate on. Concentrate on where we are, not what has brought us where we are.
I have a question for you. How did you develop your amazing mental outlook? I mean, is it something that you've always had, or did it develop through the journey?
I think it developed through my work before I was diagnosed as well, because I worked with people who were in not brilliant situations where they could be homeless or fleeing violence or addiction issues and such. And I always used to spin things and say to them, right, okay, then that what you did was rubbish. But what have you gained from it? You may have gained a child, or you may have gained a job, or you may have gained some learnings. And I think it's been a combination of the work I did before and what I've gone through. Because like you say, you've got to, I found that turning a spin on everything, I probably could be a spin doctor now. I probably could do that, but not like I'd want to. But you've got to sort of turn things around and think, right, okay, then, yeah, life can be cruddy, but life is amazing. At the end of the day, I tell you, another statement somebody once said was, oh, my friends got over cancer, but they've changed. And I'm thinking, well, of course they've changed. They've gone through something horrific. And they're quite a young person. And I did turn around and say, that is one of the most devastating things you can be told. I said, and you cannot expect us to come out the other side and be the same. And I don't think anybody comes out being the same. But we can come out being fighters for quality of life and fighters for creating memories with the people that we love. Like you meet some people that are amazing, like you say, that'll go do triathlons and marathons and things like this afterwards, which they never would have done before in their life. Hands up, I'll never do a marathon. Can't stand running. I'll walk. I ain't running.
Neither will I. Neither will I. You and me both. We're not. We're on the same page there.
Well, so you've got to sort of look at what people have achieved as well. It's not all doom and gloom, and we've got to find out what our strengths are and move forward with it. And yeah, I do spin things around. That's just now to me is second nature. It's just whether it's the cancer that's done it, whether it's the work's done it, or whether it's just a combination of both, or the training that I've had. I don't know. It's just like there is a positive in everything. You just have to look for it and you just have to find it and you have to believe it.
Absolutely. I could take myself, my situation, and relate exactly what you're saying as far as, living life. Prior to having cancer, I was an avid sport fisherman, and I used to go fishing, all over the place, and I used to go on boats for as long as 3 weeks at a time, and have fished for really, really large fish. And I've come to the conclusion that I may not be able to do that to that level like I used to, because I've caught fish as big as 2,000 pounds, and that is just physically taxing. You have to be at a certain uh, level physically, and I'm not there like I used to be, and I've come to accept that. And the point of what I'm talking about right now is I actually went, I live in Texas now, and the type of fishing I used to do would be salt water, and we used to go out, like hundreds of miles. But I did go fishing a couple weeks ago at a lake, and my perception, I've developed a new perception of fishing. Before, I was so intent on the fishing itself.
Right.
And that's what was just like driving me all the time. I wanted to catch bigger and bigger fish, and I wanted to catch the most fish. And in my mental outlook, as far as that goes now, is I had a great time
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago because I was with great company. It was really a beautiful day. And we did catch some fish. Not, in fact, they were probably smaller than some of the bait I've used in the past, but it was still fun because it got me out there and it got me in nature. And it was it was a really, really good time. So I think my point for saying all of this is we have to constantly adjust and adapt to our situation. Uh, and so, yeah, I think that's such an important thing. Let's talk about what you are doing now uh, to help people.
Well, what's once I recovered from a second surgery, I started looking for lovely lingerie to cover my bag up. Something that look feminine and pretty again. But to my amazement, that didn't exist. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, well, why? So then that got me into making the lingerie bands that I make. And like I said, they hide the bags lovely. They, like I said, got gorgeous silks, lace, and beautiful cotton jerseys as well, plain and patterned. And it just boosts people's confidence so much because the bag will never be seen. All you will see is this beautiful material underneath, and you haven't got that worry or that concern of having to explain to somebody you're not prepared to explain to. And then now I do mentoring and therapy for people, like you're saying, the practical side of living with a ostomy and a stoma, and also the emotional and psychological effect of, like you say, whether the disease has been cancer or whether it's been some other bowel issue, or sometimes people just wake up from a surgery and they've just got this bag stuck on the stomach and they've no blooming idea whys and wherefores. And like you're saying, people with cancer, if they're coming forward and saying, I like your attitude, I'll happily sit down and go, right, okay, then let's work through this together. Because at the end of the day, we are here for a damn good life, and it's for one life. Let's live it.
I just love that. I love your attitude. I'm just so blown away by that. What is the name of your company?
Unspoken rosebud. And the reason being is a rosebud is what a stoma and ostomy is called in the medical world over in the UK. And unspoken is because we don't talk about it. So it just made sense.
Okay, now I was trying to figure out the connection with your email address, and so uh, yeah, that is awesome. That is truly awesome. And what you're doing with people is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And and I meet so many people that out of adversity comes these incredible outcomes and beautiful things and different missions and different companies. And so I love that. So I commend you beyond belief. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the in the description your company information, your links to your company. Anybody who's interested can reach out to Helinka and get more information about it. And if there's anything else you would like to add to it, go ahead.
And like I said, if it's like we said, we get one crack at life. We don't. Oh, that's something else that's just dropped in my mind. Don't blame yourself. Hellfire. This is not your fault that you got this cancer. No matter how much you read on Google that you shouldn't have eaten this and you shouldn't have done that and you should have known the signs beforehand and all that. Absolute rubbish. Don't beat yourself up over it, because there's enough people out there doing that to you without you doing it to yourself. And you're more powerful harming yourself than other people are. So you're more powerful to heal yourself than what other people are. So don't take blame. Just move forward, find the right help, find the right support, and get on with life.
How would you say that helping others has helped you to heal?
There's this thing called the healer's gratification, they call it. And it is, or the healer's buzz is the other word. And it's like when you can see somebody moving forward and you can see that weight coming off their shoulders and you can see them standing up and lifting up and such, and you can just think, yeah, you've got this. You've got this. Yeah, we're going to slip back occasionally, maybe, but overall, you've got this, and you know the tools and the way to keep going forward and moving up. And that, for me, is the most rewarding part, is because I've done my bit. Now they're taking the tools and the knowledge and the experience and moving forward and having the best life.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What is the one message, and I think you've already said it, but I want you to reiterate it if you need to. What is the one message that you would like to provide to anybody, and it doesn't matter if they have cancer or not.
Yeah.
What would that be?
As hard as this sounds, respect your body. It has gone through as much as what you have gone through, if not more, because it's gone through the treatments, it's gone through the scans, it's gone through the operations and all the radiotherapy and chemotherapy that it's had put on, and any other forms of therapies that's had put on, medical intervention. It's been battered as much as what you have emotionally and psychologically. So respect it. And occasionally just get into tune with it and go, are you okay? I know it's a bit woo-woo for some people, but you need to sort of go back to your body and go, yeah, okay, we've got through this. We can get through more.
Absolutely fantastic. Helinka, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, your expertise. I think this was an absolutely fantastic interview. I love your attitude, absolutely love it. And especially coming from a different part of the world, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you out there for joining us here at To Be Your Own Hero. Please like, subscribe, make a comment in the comment section of the video. And as Helinka has mentioned numerous times, we all, whether you have cancer or not, we all have a life to live. We all have been blessed with this life. And the sooner we realize the importance of that and the importance of living and experiencing as much as we possibly can in this life on a daily basis, the sooner you will be happier, you will be more productive, you will be more of a benefit to this world. And so absolutely fantastic things that you have shared with us, Helinka. Thank you once again. And thanks to each and every one of you out there who have joined us here at To Be Your Own Hero. Once again, make the most out of each and every single day. Each and every day is precious. Each and every hour, each and every minute, and each and every second. And have a fantastic week. And we will see you next week on To Be Your Own Hero. Thank you very much.